phone, your laptop, or conference room. Zoom is how business gets done. Get your free account at Zoom.com today.
Good morning, Tampa Bay. You are listening to the Business Happy Hour here live on 1250 WHNZ. And also, you might be listening early Sunday morning, bright and early, 5 a.m. on 970 WFLA. And if you are, we welcome you to the show. This is Frank Coto, owner of Lincoln Lending Group and 813 Mortgage here, the host of the Business Happy Hour, with my incredible co-hosts, Mr. Ryan Pelky and Doug Ford. Ryan Pelky of 813 Plumber. How you doing?
Good. How you doing, Frank?
Doing good. I used 813 Plumbing Services yesterday. Went good.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And, of course, Mr. Doug Ford here, owner of Suncoast Roofing Solutions, 888-888-ROOF, your tile specialist. How we doing, Doug?
Everything's fantastic. How are you?
Good. I can't hear you in my microphone. Does that mean nobody else can?
I don't know. Can you hear me?
Now I can
there
hear
you go.
Can you hear me now?
Doug, you got to turn that on, brother.
Usually sometimes, it's turned on for me, but apparently not today.
I'm a slacker.
The service around here is just going down. But that's what we're going to be talking about today on the show. This is the Business Happy Hour, guys. If you've never listened before, we are Tampa Bay's #1 show for all things entrepreneurial. We are going to talk to you guys about the trials and tribulations of being a business owner. Maybe you're about to open a business. Maybe you've been in business for a couple of years. Maybe you're like us and you've been in business 20 years. We can learn something from each other every day.
It's funny because we practice this stuff all week, and we get to come in here and explain, give everybody all of our insights. So.
Hey, I like what you said. The key word is we practice this.
Yeah, we practice
every
this.
week.
We practice this. And
so you ever heard that joke like, I need to find a doctor who doesn't practice?
I always joke around that I don't need any practice on doing jobs anymore. I've practiced all I need to.
But that's what doctors do, is they practice.
They just practice on you.
But no, when it comes to running a business and operating a business and, some of the tips that we're going to give you later on in the show here today, it is practice. It's the trials and tribulations of running a business, and it takes experience, and that's what we're all about here.
That's right. And the funny thing is, we've all collectively been in business probably 50 years, if you really think about it, between the three of us. 50 years of actual real-world business experience.
Millions of dollars, thousands of customers.
Millions have been made, maybe lost. Lots of happy
let's hope
customers.
not lost. But.
Yeah. Hey, you see that thing about Trump recently? I know it was all fake news probably, but that thing where they said the guy lost 1.7 billion in 10 years.
Yeah,
whatever it is.
over $1 billion. Yeah.
Hey, that's it. So every business has to win and lose, right?
Yeah.
You got to win and lose. We just don't have the tax write-offs that those guys do.
Yeah. That's why. I mean, that's why he doesn't want to release his tax returns. I mean, I would.
Yeah.
You would want to release your tax returns if you showed huge tax payments.
Right. Exactly.
I mean, that's
sure. I'm sure Amazon doesn't want to release theirs either.
Yeah, with all the subsidies and things they get, the tax breaks and credits, they probably don't pay taxes.
I
They
guess
don't. No, they had zero tax bill.
But is that okay as a business owner if you're employing and you're driving the economy?
Well, yeah,
it's a positive.
I think it's the business, the CEO's responsibility to pay the least amount of taxes that the company has to pay. That's the objective.
Absolutely.
I mean, you don't see
make your shareholders lots of money.
Yeah, that's the whole point of being the CEO.
Right.
To return as much money to the shareholders as possible.
And a lot of people some people in the outside look at that as selfish, but if you're not creating a positive bottom line, you're not going to be in existence, which means you're not going to employ people.
Look, not everyone's an entrepreneur, and not a lot of people don't have that mindset. I mean, there's people out there they just don't get it or don't understand it.
No, companies like ours are the reason why the government operates. Plain and simple.
Have you guys seen
you look at just my little business here. I mean, we're given every week, $15,000-$20,000 a week in payroll taxes to the IRS every week.
Right.
Week after week, just in payroll taxes.
Yeah.
So, it's we're the reason why the government functions.
That's exactly right. Have you guys seen that poster? Sometimes it has the iceberg. And it shows just the tip of the iceberg. Most icebergs, it's just the tip that's above water.
Yeah, more is below water.
Yeah, and it says something about it's not what you see. It's what really happens, and the tip is just what people see about you and your business, and below is everything else.
Yeah,
90%.
Yeah, so I guess Trump would have had to rewind time and go back and say, you know what? Yeah, I didn't pay very many taxes. That's my job. My job is to pay the least amount of taxes as possible.
Yeah,
but he lost a lot of money though too. I mean. He lost a lot of money.
Yeah, he filed bankruptcy. I mean, he went through a depression.
I mean, there's undoubtedly some shady stuff that went on, I'm sure. So,
Well, it's like racing. If you're not cheating, you're not racing. So.
Yeah.
No, if you're not rubbing, you're not racing.
You're not rubbing, you're not racing.
There's this thing called the gray area.
Right.
Business.
Right. But you got to live in that. There's nothing illegal. You know what the difference in those guys and us and us small business owners and people listening is that they just have the money to pay for the high priced accountants to figure out the tax code. My wife said something about taxes the other day. I go, honey, tax code wasn't written for the regular man.
No.
Well, I mean, you got to think about it. If we had, if our incomes were hundreds of millions of dollars or even tens of millions of dollars, there's so many ways to have tons of write-offs.
Right.
I mean, you give to charities, you do this. There's so many different things you can do to limit your tax liabilities. You can buy more buildings. You can buy more vehicles. Eventually though, you're going to have to pay taxes. Like at some point in time, like I kind of do the same thing. I like I told you in one of our shows, like every year I make it look like I don't make a lot of money because I'm basically prepaying all my expenses for the following year.
So let's talk about that for our listeners because that's a really good strategy and funny. Talking about every Wednesday, we come together to talk about the show, and even I was going into this with our collective business experience. We literally learn something from each other every single day, and that's the beauty of this show. And for the listeners, is you guys get to live vicariously through us. I run an S corp like Doug. You're S corp, aren't you? So, and at the end of the year, if you're an S corp guy, listen up here. At the end of the year, whatever's left in your bank accounts, you're taxed on. That
Right.
becomes your income.
Right.
But what most S corp business owners don't do, and I didn't do until Doug told me, which is hilarious, is we leave the money in our business account. We end up paying taxes on that personally, but it never shows up in our personal account. And then we just start the whole new year going. IRS is just smiling, laughing at us because we did that, right? So you want to explain what you do to explain what you do to keep the money.
I look at what my expenses are going to be the next year, whether it's insurance, whether it's buying equipment, whether it's
mortgage,
whatever it is. I prepay as much as I can to where I dwindle my account down to $5,000-$10,000, and then I live off my line of credit for the next couple months at the beginning of the year because cash flow is king. But I mean, I'll have cash flow because I have my line of credit that I work off of.
Right.
Now, another really great thing for contractors, and I don't know about your type of business, Frank, but we can buy equipment and write off 100% of it in the first year, up to I believe it's $450,000 per year, or $2.5 million lifetime. So
explain that for an example.
So for instance, let's say I've booked $500,000 in profit.
Okay.
In November, I've noticed I'm gonna have a big tax consequence. I can go and buy $250,000 in equipment, write every bit of that off against my income in the first year. So if I buy it in November, I can write down that $250,000.
And it's called accelerated depreciation.
Yeah.
So you can either depreciate over a 5-year period, a 4-year period, or you can accelerate it, take the full depreciation the first year you buy it. And it's a loophole the government's had for like 4 or 5 years now.
But it's only up to $2.5 million in equipment lifetime. So we're actually approaching that. We're approaching that right now.
That's why I buy trucks every year. I'm buying trucks every year. I'm buying trucks because I get
every year I buy trucks at the end of the year.
Yeah, absolutely.
Can I get a truck?
Wham!
Can Gary and I get trucks? We need trucks.
Trucks, equipment. I bet you computers and stuff like that.
Yeah, you have computers. But I don't think computer.
You should upgrade your technology, Frank. I've been to your office, and you should upgrade your technology.
He just upgraded his toilet seats.
Yeah, I just upgraded the toilet seats. Thanks, Gary.
Because of
people like you.
I've been over there, and that's one of the things that you probably could do, and especially your telephone system too. Because I know when I call you, that thing don't work.
You out.
Oh,
that's Gary. That's my brain that needs to be upgraded to when I see Gary's number to answer.
You need a better CRM.
But yeah,
do not answer ever.
That's funny. Does everybody have a couple numbers in their phone that say do not answer?
Oh yes, of course.
Oh yeah. You get like the same solicitor say whatever. You're like, oh yeah, I'm not answering that one. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah.
Gary's like, no, mine are women. But.
Yeah. Can you put a picture on the screen, Gary?
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, by the way, before we go into the break here, Gary, we love it when people call in. Last week, Nick Moon called in. But how do they do it? What do they do?
877-897-8255. That's 877-897-TALK.
All right. Now, guys, if you want to be a guest on the show, we do like to, last couple of weeks we haven't had guests. We wanted to bring some of our business knowledge to you and take a little break on our guests, which we're going to pick up in the next couple of weeks. But we like to have guests, so if you'd like to be one, you can email us directly. Email the guys here at BHH, that's Business Happy Hour, BHHIHeart@gmail.com. That's BHHIHeart@gmail.com, and you can let us know you want to be a guest on the show. And Gary, what if they want to chime in on Facebook or YouTube? What should they do?
They should go to the Business Happy Hour page on Facebook, leave a comment, and you can also go to our YouTube page and leave a comment. Watch all our shows. We got over 120 shows booked on there. They're archived by date. They're closed captioned for the hearing impaired. So if you want something playing in the background when you're cooking dinner, go to our Facebook page or our YouTube page.
Now, and thank you, Gary. And I heard Alexa is back picking us up, so hopefully that's working. If it doesn't, let us know.
It was a glitch.
It was a glitch in the Matrix. It was a glitch. Something happened, but Alexa decided not to play the Business Happy Hour when you said, "Hey Alexa, play the Business Happy Hour on iHeartRadio." And hopefully it's fixed.
And we also have our podcast on iHeartMedia too, so you can go and have the Business Happy Hour on iHeartMedia.
Now there's probably we probably have at least 150 on there, guys. We're going on 3 years here.
3 years, yeah.
And the Business Happy Hour. So if you're a frequent listener, we appreciate you. We'd love to hear from you. By all means, if you don't want us to mention your name or anything, we don't have to. But on this show, when we come into the second segment, we're going to be talking a whole bunch of business advice for you guys. One of the things we're going to focus on are your operating systems. What does your business have? What do you guys use? We're not just talking CRMs, but all three of us have different systems in our businesses. We're going to talk about those. Very important. Some of our systems might help our employees sell. Some of our systems just track data. Some of them might reach out to customers. And between the three of us and our 50 years of experience, we literally have thousands of people in our databases. But we're not just talking old clients. We're also talking new clients. So we're going to bring that up a little later here on the Business Happy Hour. And let's see here. How much time do we have before we're going into break? I think we're pretty close. Right about right now? Okay. So we're going to go ahead and take a break here on the Business Happy Hour. We'll be back in just a minute, and we'll be talking operating systems with Frank, Ryan, and Doug. This is Frank Coto, president of Lincoln Lending Group and 813mortgage.com, your no junk fee mortgage lender. If you're a veteran and you're looking to purchase or refinance a home, please visit 813mortgage.com today and complete your fast, free 5-minute VA loan application. My team will approve you in less than 24 hours, and we will beat any written loan estimate from any other bank. Thank you to all of our customers who made us the #1 mortgage lender in Tampa over the last 19 years. Call 813mortgage today, and don't forget, you drop the E, we'll drop your fee.
Have all the rain and storms this year left your roof unprotected? Do you need an honest, reliable, and trustworthy roofing company? Call Suncoast Roofing Solutions today at 813-283-2544 for a free evaluation and no obligation estimate. You'll appreciate their personalized solutions and no pressure consultants. You can find Suncoast Roofing Solutions on the web at suncoastroofing.com, where honesty, integrity, and craftsmanship come first.
Hey, are you a plumber in Tampa Bay or know a plumber looking for a great career change? Tampa Bay Plumbers is looking for several qualified service plumbers with top compensation packages between $75,000 and $100,000 per year, offering paid holidays, vacation pay, major medical, and unbeatable work environment. We are the highest rated company because of our plumbers, and we want you to join our team today. Call 813-PLUMBER. That's 813-PLUMBER. Remember, plumbing problems are no problem for Tampa Bay Plumbers.
This is Frank Coto, president of Lincoln Lending Group and 813mortgage.com, your no junk fee mortgage lender. If you're a veteran and you're looking to purchase or refinance a home, please visit 813mortgage.com today and complete your fast, free 5-minute VA loan application. My team will approve you in less than 24 hours, and we will beat any written loan estimate from any other bank. Thank you to all of our customers who made us the #1 mortgage lender in Tampa over the last 19 years. Call 813mortgage today, and don't forget, you drop the E, we'll drop your fee.
Rebuild or replace transmission, $3,200. Anti-lock brake system, $1,000. Rebuild or replace engine, $2,400. Truth is, once your manufacturer's warranty runs out, it's all on you. Every last cent. Get protection for covered repairs with a vehicle service contract from Toco Warranty. Unlike other companies, with Toco, there's no down payment, and the monthly payments are really affordable. Not sure how long you're keeping your car? At Toco, you can pay as you go. Keep your hard-earned cash and call Toco Warranty right now at 800-261-8406 to save big money on covered auto repairs. Prices vary by vehicle, but for about the cost of a tank of gas per month, a Toco plan has your back on expensive covered car repairs. Monthly payments are very affordable. Get your free quote now. Call Toco at 800-261-8406. That's 800-261-8406. 800-261-8406. Cancellation fee may apply. Subject to eligibility. Not available in Missouri and Washington. Waiting period and deductible apply. Coverage provided and administered by Warrantech Corporation or its affiliates. Not affiliated with any manufacturer or dealership. Visit TocoWarranty.com for complete terms and conditions.
Travel path westbound on the Selman around US 301 and westbound State Road 60 also has an accident east of Valrico Road. We slow westbound on I-4 from 22nd Street to 275, and there's a crash southbound on Rowan Road at Bailey Drive. See traffic problems? Call the injury firm of Abrahamson and Eric Hillsborough Traffic Tip Line at 866-545-9595.
This report is sponsored by KFC. KFC's new dessert will satisfy your cravings for sweets and biscuits. The Cinnabon Dessert Biscuit is KFC's classic warm flaky biscuit smothered in Cinnabon cinnamon sugar glaze and cream cheese frosting. For a limited time, get 4 of them free with a 10-piece meal. It's finger-licking good and only at KFC.
You're listening to the Business Happy Hour with Frank Coto, Ryan Pelky, and Doug Ford. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back to the Business Happy Hour. I hope you're having a great day. Before we took the break, Frank, that's me. Frank, that's me. The owner of Lincoln Lending here was talking with Ryan and Doug. That's them. And we were talking about a tax strategy, and I wanted to talk about it for a second before we get into the operating system conversation. And that's if you're an S corp, remember that all your money at the end of the year left in the business account flows through to you as personal income. So
Pass-through
entity. So Doug brought up a really good strategy in 19 years in business, and I had never done this. And now it depends on how you pay yourself. But like, for instance, in Doug's scenario, if you're paying yourself the way you want to be paid throughout the year, and you have that money left over, it's a great idea to spend all of that money on bills, expenses, buy new equipment,
Yeah,
right?
I mean, you got to look at what your fixed expenses are for that previous year, and then you know what your expenses are going to be. Like, you can prepay your rent.
Yeah, so you pay it up, a couple months?
Sometimes I'll pay all year off. You know? I mean, like, I may say my rent is, $1,000. All right, here, I'll give my landlord $12,000. Or like my truck insurance. Like, I have, $15,000 in truck insurance. I'll pay that off.
So what he's doing, guys,
I'm marketing and advertising.
Yeah, you're taking it off the books.
Yeah.
In 2019.
You're deferring it.
But what's going to happen
is paying it forward.
Yeah, you're deferring it to the.
Eventually, I'm going to get hit with a tax liability, or not. Maybe one year, maybe I don't make as much money, and I decided, then
you don't prepay at that point.
Exactly.
Yeah. Now, when you have a loss, you have a 2007 or 2008, happen.
Right.
Then you book a bunch of losses. That's when you.
Yeah.
So you're kind of waiting for one of those years.
You're like Trump.
Happen.
That's great. You've got millions of dollars.
I've been deferring it for about 9 years. I do that every year for the past 9 years.
Which isn't a bad thing, because as long as business is going good.
Yeah, business is great. So I'm not really. I don't need that money. I'm basically making so the following year I'm not stressing about paying my bills because they're almost all paid.
So have you not noticed a lot of business owners complain about paying taxes? But in reality, paying taxes is a good thing.
No, it's not a bad thing
because you're making money.
Right.
But
your fiduciary responsibility is to pay the least amount of taxes.
Exactly.
You have to.
But there's also amount of, like I look at there's certain tax brackets that I want to be under. Do I want to be and that's where I'll meet with my accountant a couple times a year and we'll figure out, all right, I want to be in this bracket. So then that's when I start.
So we did that for this year. I mean, luckily, I don't say luckily or unluckily, the income was lower.
I was the one that told you about that.
You brought it up. It's like $314,000. So if you're in a certain industry, you have to make under $314,000. I think it's like in service industries.
$315,000.
Where you don't sell a product necessarily. Got to be under, what, 314?
315.
315. Your taxable income in order to get into the tax break that the Trump plan
20%.
did, the 20% tax break, and then they're going to phase that out over 5 years.
Yes.
For basically people like Doug and myself and people who we do a service. Now,
and
you
Ryan.
have Ryan too, I guess. Yeah, that's a good point, because I mean, you sell a material, but you're selling a service as well.
Well, that's all I am, is a service business.
Right.
Yeah.
So with all that said, Doug's strategy is that he pays himself during the year, and so he sweeps it all to bills. I don't pay myself necessarily the same way Doug does during the year. So what my strategy was going to be this year was I was going to sweep the money into my personal account. I was going to pay my rent up a couple months and things like that, the major fixed bills, but I was going to sweep it to my personal account. And the idea is I'm paying taxes on it anyway. So if it remains in my business, I'm still getting taxed.
Oh, yeah.
Might as well put it in the bank account.
Yeah, you got it. That's the one thing.
If it remains in your business, you should sweep it definitely to your personal, because you pay taxes on it.
But I can't. I've been 18 years. I've been not doing that. And one day Doug's like, "Well," and you know what the light bulb is because I was thinking, well, how do you do that, Doug? Then you don't have any money in the account. You got to have a business credit line.
Got to have a line of credit.
Got to have a business credit line. You have one, don't you, Ryan?
Yeah, you do. And it's funny that's the way our tax code is written. It encourages you to distribute all of your profits.
Yeah.
And not invest in capital investment.
That's why I was actually considering.
It's the tax code encourages debt and a lack of capital investment.
So I actually considered changing to a Corp C.
Okay.
Just so I could keep, because I'm a saver. I like to save money, so I always have a big chunk of change at the end of the year. I was going to switch to a Corp C just so I could keep the money in the account and not have to worry about trying to, like I said, I'm meeting with my account all the time just to figure out how much money I'm going to prepay stuff.
But so the Corp C, and I'm no CPA, and we should probably put a CPA on the show. Let's try to do that in the next couple of weeks.
They are to talk to, yeah.
It's tough.
You know what? I should get my CFO to come on April. April could give us.
She's a good talker.
I
like her.
I don't think she's probably listening. I don't think she practices.
Is she a CPA?
She is a CPA, but
then she should definitely come in then.
Well, but she's more. I like her because she's
and
real.
she worked for the IRS.
She works with Akash.
We should definitely have
and with you, so we know she's well vetted. She knows what she's doing, and she works in the real.
Extremely talented.
Yeah, she works in the real life. She's not a CPA who sits behind a desk and just does H&R Block crap. She actually.
No, she practices it.
No offense, by the way, if you do H&R Block.
Actually,
you just insulted a lot of people.
You can go ahead and go there.
Look, if you're a business
if you're doing
owner,
free tax returns.
Yeah. But look, there's a big difference, guys. And people have asked me, if you're a business owner and you actually run a business, you need an actual full-time CPA. Not that you don't have to employ them full-time, but you need someone who that's all they do.
Yeah.
You can't go to H&R Block.
No.
Anyway.
So there's too many times I call him up. I need this. Like,
oh yeah.
And he knows what he has everything in there, so he knows exactly what to give me. I could not have.
You mean like every week?
Yeah.
If you're in business, I'm calling my CPA like, I got a letter from the IRS. Yeah. A funny story. Got a letter from the IRS yesterday, and it's from a tax liability like 12 years ago.
Yeah.
And the letter said, we've applied $8 to your 2012 tax liability something. And I'm like reading it, and it said there's a balance, and I'm like, what's that? And then it says, what do?
You are to do nothing. It literally said that on the letter.
Thanks for the letter.
What do you do? You are to do nothing. And
Thanks
I'm sitting
for
here.
the note.
Well, it's like they sent me an invoice and they said don't do anything. So I sent it to my CPA. I was like, do I do nothing?
No. You just spent $75 now.
Yeah. Now you're gonna get
That's what you just did.
And it was only $8 that they credited to the account.
Should have just thrown that one in the trash.
Now he's going to get phone calls from people with funny accents saying that they're going to come arrest him for IRS
Oh my
fraud.
gosh, I get those calls all the time.
That works on people. It's unbelievable.
Obnoxious.
We're going to come and arrest you if you don't pay your tax liability right now.
Yeah, what you do with those people is you go down that road with them. You're like,
All the way.
Oh my God, here, let me get out my checkbook.
Yeah.
Here,
Start giving them fake numbers.
Get ready.
And just keep them off. Be
Toy
like,
with
listen,
them.
ask him, can I meet you in person? Like, can we meet at the Burger King up here on
I've actually
Waters?
called them back like, my name is, Corporal or when FBI agent so such and such.
Oh my gosh.
And they're like,
Hey, I've got a suitcase full of cash right now in the back of my truck. I will meet you anywhere and pay you off.
Dude, I know. Yeah. I'm driving a black F-250 with a gas tank. Oh, guys. That scam. There's lots of funny stories. I've got a funny scam story I'll tell the listeners when we get back about how I thought I was being scammed on the phone, and it ended up being my 11-year-old nephew. and I might have said and sent some things that you shouldn't have said. So, word to the wise. Double check that. It kind of goes along with what Doug was saying. Guys, you're listening to the Business Happy Hour here on 970 and 1250 WFLA and WHNZ. We'll be back in just a minute, and we actually will talk about operating systems when we get back into the third segment. Hope you're having a great morning.
Your shot at $1,000 now. Text the nationwide keyword coffee to 200-200. You'll get a confirmation text and info. Standard data and message rates apply in this nationwide contest. That's coffee to 200-200.
I'm Jessica Ettinger, CNBC. President Trump tweeted that China's vice premier is in the U.S. to make a deal, and that's keeping stocks from plunging like yesterday. The Dow is now up 80 points. That's 1/3%. The NASDAQ up 24 points. The S&P is up 7 points. Penske Media's Rolling Stone magazine is set to disrupt the Billboard chart monopoly by debuting new music charts on Monday. The singles chart will be updated daily instead of using weekly numbers, and it'll take all sorts of streaming into account. TV ads for prescription drugs will soon be required to show prices. Regulations are almost finished. That mean list prices for drugs costing more than $35 for a month's supply must be shown on the screen. And Netflix spends more than $8 billion a year on its own shows and films, but Adweek says most people are just watching library shows like The Office and Friends.
Everyone knows that even...
News on 1250 WHNZ.
Florida Agriculture Commissioner Nikki Fried is in West Palm Beach for an announcement involving an important position when it comes to our state's environment.
I'm excited to announce my appointment of Chris Pettit as Director of the Office of Agricultural Water Policy. I guess you can call him our water czar.
Pettit will focus on developing best practices for water quality and conservation. Some groups are opposing Florida's plan to arm teachers. Governor DeSantis is expected to sign the school safety bill. The group Moms Demand Action for Gun Sense in America calls the bill risky and dangerous. An unlikely friendship forming after a 6-year-old in Tallahassee called 911. An officer responded to the boy's call, which he reportedly made because he was lonely. The officer allowed the boy to sit in his police cruiser and gave the boy a stuffed animal. With Florida's news, I'm Larry Spillman.
Have all the rain and storms this year left your roof unprotected? Do you need an honest, reliable, and trustworthy roofing company? Call Suncoast Roofing Solutions today at 813-283-2544 for a free evaluation and no obligation estimate. You'll appreciate their personalized solutions and no-pressure consultants. You can find Suncoast Roofing Solutions on the web at suncoastroofingsolutions.com, where honesty, integrity, and craftsmanship come first.
Hey, are you a plumber in Tampa Bay or know a plumber looking for a great career change? Tampa Bay Plumbers is looking for several qualified service plumbers with top compensation packages between $75,000 and $100,000 per year, offering paid holidays, vacation pay, major medical, and unbeatable work environment. We are the highest rated company because of our plumbers, and we want you to join our team today. Call 813-PLUMBER. That's 813-PLUMBER. Remember, plumbing problems are no problem for Tampa Bay Plumbers.
This is Frank Coto, president of Lincoln Lending Group and 813mortgage.com, your no junk fee mortgage lender. If you're a veteran and you're looking to purchase or refinance a home, please visit 813mortgage.com today and complete your fast, free 5-minute VA loan application. My team will approve you in less than 24 hours, and we will beat any written loan estimate from any other bank. Thank you to all of our customers who made us the #1 mortgage lender in Tampa over the last 19 years. Call 813mortgage today, and don't forget, you drop the E, we'll drop your fee. Have all the rain and storms this year left your roof unprotected? Do you need an honest, reliable, and trustworthy roofing company? Call Suncoast Roofing Solutions today at 813-283-2544 for a free evaluation and no obligation estimate. You'll appreciate their personalized solutions and no pressure consultants. You can find Suncoast Roofing Solutions on the web at suncoastroofingsolutions.com, where honesty, integrity, and craftsmanship come first.
Very slow traffic westbound on I-4 from the Selman connector into 275, and we still have an accident westbound on the Selman approaching US 301. Watch out for a crash southbound on US 19 south of Darlington. See traffic problems? Call the injury firm of Abrahamson and Edric Hillsborough traffic tip line at 866-545-9595.
This report is sponsored by Napa Auto Parts. Right now at Napa Auto Parts stores and Napa Auto Care Centers. Get a $75 prepaid Visa card when you spend $250 on quality Napa brakes at participating Napa Auto Parts stores and Napa Auto Care Centers. Exclusions apply. Offer ends 5/31/19.
You're listening to the Business Happy Hour with Frank Coto, Ryan Pelky, and Doug Ford. Now, back to the show.
All right, guys, welcome back to the Business Happy Hour. If you have never listened before and you're just now tuning in, myself, Frank, Ryan, and Doug, we are three rather successful business owners that like to share our trials and tribulations of business with you and give you some advice every Wednesday at 11 a.m. live. And by the way, if you'd like to call in, good or bad, tips, questions, whatever, Gary, how do they call?
877-897-8255. That's 877-897-TALK.
All right. So that's how you call in to be a guest on our show. So before the break, I was telling, I'll make the story really quick because it's not that crazy. But if you've ever been a victim of ID theft, be very careful. I got lucky and they caught somebody in a store in Miami who was faking credit card and driver's license of myself, and they actually busted the guy. But I've always been weary since then, and I got a weird phone call. And a text asking if my name was this and my address was this. And so I thought it was somebody trying to scam me from South Florida. So I turned around and paid $9 for one of those reverse lookups, which, by the way, work really well. If you're ever wondering if something's legit or somebody's trying to scam you, there's a bunch of websites. You go on there and give them $9-10 for one use, and they give you the address, the traffic history, the arrest history, the name the cell phone's linked to. I mean, you can get everything.
Really?
For $9.
Wow.
It was called like White Page Lookup. Something like that. Yeah, unbelievable. And all I had was a cell phone number. So anyway, I started texting this person back who I thought was trying to scam my identity. And I was using some colorful language and might have mentioned the FBI and some other things. And eventually I got a picture of my 11-year-old nephew sent back to me smiling at me. So I taught him some bad things, apparently. And I must have scared him with the FBI tactic. But you can never be too careful. If you're a business owner, my recommendation, I know, Doug, you use it, is I like American Express. I feel like they protected me so many times.
I also use Identity Guard.
What is that? Is that a service through?
Yeah, it's an app that I have. So anytime my credits pull, I get a text message immediately.
Now, do you have your credit locked?
I did for a long time, but because I'm constantly getting different loans for things, it's a pain in the butt to have to get it unlocked every time, then relock it. So.
What about you, Ryan? Is your credit locked?
Mine's locked out of necessity. I had my identity stolen years ago.
You did too.
Yeah, remember? I think you're the one that discovered it. Actually, I was doing a refi with you.
That's right.
And I get a call from you guys. Are like, hey, yeah, your tax returns don't match what the IRS has.
Yeah, I was like, Ryan, you already filed your returns.
Yeah, you already filed this year. I'm like, well, no, actually, I just did. And so someone filed a return in I believe they were out of Jacksonville. It was an illegal immigrant. They stole my Social Security number. Filed a return like with $12,000 in income.
Yeah,
and the IRS sent him all of his money back.
Do you want to know something about the IRS? I found out through this whole scam stuff. The IRS, believe it or not, pays out on refunds before they even process the returns, and they process refund returns before payment returns. Now, you tell me, you're running a business.
Does it make any sense to process refunds before income?
There's nothing that our government does that makes sense.
Nothing. Nothing.
No.
So there's a lady out of Tampa who scammed him for like $1.5 million a few years ago. And my father got caught up into that scam, and his was stolen. This was like 3 or 4 years ago. I'll never forget because it got stolen, and the person filed same way as you. He went to file, and the IRS rejects the return and says that you've already filed.
Yeah.
And you're like, no, I haven't filed. Then you got to go through the stupid pen process and this 60-day
Meanwhile,
BS.
I send them a check and everything. You
Right.
know, they
So
send
the
it back.
IRS, yeah, if you're a customer of yours, has to pay you every month, and then all of a sudden they send you something saying you're paying them. Doesn't that make you be like, huh?
Yeah. I mean,
So listen to this. So my dad went through the whole pen thing, did all the whatever he's supposed to do, and he's like, you know what? I'm not going to let him do it to me this year. It's like 2 years ago. He goes, I'm filing on January 1st. All right. So this is awesome. So he filed 3:36 p.m. January 1st, 2017.
He had no
He
W-2s
was ready.
or nothing? How do you?
Yeah, he's retired. You know, it was just he was ready. He had all the stuff ready to go. Boom.
Yeah, he got audited.
No.
They audited him.
They rejected the return. And he calls me. He's like, wait, what the?
Because probably it's all electronic now.
No. So a person who scammed him the year before filed 8:30 a.m. that morning.
Oh my
They
god!
beat him to the filing, and he did it at like 3:30. How funny is? I mean, not funny, but point being,
Poor guy.
these scammers. Oh, and you know my dad. He was using language I've never heard. You know? And he's like, how
Well,
did
maybe
this
once.
maybe my whole life. Anyway, yeah, it's wow. So anyway, business owners, watch out for scammers. That I would do what Doug has and have an ID card, or I'd lock your credit. But if you do a lot of credit transactions, locking is a pain in the butt. Having that credit card, if you pay attention,
We
to
locked all of our kids' credits.
Really, people steal kids' credits?
Oh
now?
yeah, it's a big thing right now.
Absolutely.
You know,
What?
I live with a member of the law enforcement community, and he's actually working a case right now that goes from Tampa to Lakeland to Orlando down to Miami on 230-something kids that have their identities already stolen.
Yeah, once my kids were born, I had all their
I
Social Security
never
locked.
even thought about that.
Yeah.
Hey, let's talk about business and kids. Have you guys ever thought about the not child labor laws here? Now, have you guys ever thought about you can actually legitimately employ your children? I think it's after they're like 6 years old or something like that.
Yeah, you can do a Roth.
You can do a Roth too, but you can actually put them on your payroll legitimately. I'm not talking about faking the IRS.
As long as they
here.
come and do stuff,
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
Which a lot of kids do. A lot of kids go.
But I
my
think
kids will go to the
it's
office.
a limited number of hours, and
Yeah, I mean, it's like you're talking like 5-10 hours a week at most. It's not a lot. You could, but you can't pay them like a $200,000 salary, but you could pay a kid.
I thought it was
$25 an hour.
I thought it was
Get 'em on
actually
the
during.
401k,
I thought it was during the
match it.
summers only, though.
No, you can do it during the year. You just have to have
Okay.
less. There's definite rules about how many hours you can
Yeah.
do, and then the pay has to be reasonable and customary and stuff. But that's a great idea for stacking money for the kids' retirements and stuff like that, and for taking money off of your books, which is we were giving people advice on earlier.
Right.
Sweeping the money. So pay your family.
Ooh,
Employ
that's a
your
really
family.
good idea. That makes allowance a little more, a little easier to pay.
You gotta make them replace flappers and flanges and
clean the warehouse, clean the trash.
put your hand in that toilet.
Stock the the bathrooms.
Squab the deck.
Dig some ditches.
Dig some ditches.
That's probably against the law.
I don't know. Isn't it?
Yeah, it probably is because you have to have workman's comp liability on them, or at least workman's comp.
Yeah. Well, they're my kids. I've got insurance. So, all right. So, guys, let's talk about what we've been talking about all show and haven't said anything. Operating systems. I know you've got a good story for us about operating systems. I think we can kind of bounce off of that a little bit.
Yeah, man. I think what there becomes a point in time where all business owners realize that they need to automate their process. And for me, it became, almost all service companies have evolved to a digital process now. There are still some out in the field like mine that have these carbon copy invoices. The technicians go out there, they'll write an invoice, they'll leave a copy with the customer, then they take a copy back to the shop. The shop has to then input all that data into a software system like QuickBooks or something like that. And so there's a double and sometimes triple entry process from the time when the customer information comes into the shop. Their customer record needs to be written down. That needs to be handed to the technician. The technician needs to take that, then write it onto an invoice. Then that invoice has to be inputted into a system. So there's a double, triple entry process there.
Mm-hmm.
You can automate that, and that's what an operating software does. So we've evolved over the years, going from had Activate, then we had ESC. Our ESC file got so big that we had to switch, so we switched over to Field Edge just now. just did the full implementation. Our CFO worked tirelessly on this, trained all of our guys, and Field Edge has completely overpromised and underdelivered. So we've got thousands of dollars in on this implementation, and we're going to have to unfortunately switch again.
Let me ask you something as a business owner.
Yeah.
So you just said that they underpromised, overpromised, underdelivered, and this is for a system that now you've spent thousands of dollars probably on your trainings and things like that, right?
Many thousands of dollars.
So is there any way for a business owner to know that was not going to work until you actually implemented?
No, I think that what I'd like for the listeners to take away from this is to have a very clear expectation of what the program is supposed to do, have it in writing, have the capabilities in writing, and that way, when those capabilities don't come true, you have some recourse. Right now we're evaluating whether or not we have whether we have a damage complaint against this software provider.
Well, yeah. If they said one thing,
I
it
feel
does
like
another.
we should be liable. They should be liable for damages because we have spent many thousands of dollars implementing the software. Now we're switching over to Service Titan. I just signed a contract today for $60,000.
3 times as much money.
Yeah, $60,000 a year. I'm going to be paying.
That's essentially your lifeline. You know what I mean? Your type of business, when you have that many calls, that many transactions, that's literally your lifeline.
So I see when you're a service company like ours and we have a small job average, our job average is about $500 to $700 a job. For a roofing company like Doug's, they're handling a lot larger transactions.
I mean, he does
fewer
30,
transactions.
Ryan does 30 times the transactions that I do. So I use a CRM called Job Nimbus. And it's not great.
I would say we probably do more than 30 times because do you guys do a roof every day?
Yeah, at least
one roof a day.
Yeah,
you replace a roof and complete it every day.
So 300 roofs
every
a year.
day. So you're doing 300
every
roofs
week.
a year.
I'm doing about 5. Every week I'm doing about 5 roofs.
Okay. Yeah,
those roofs sometimes will last a week to do. But I mean, I'm still.
Well, that's what I'm saying. We complete.
But I'll do 5 roofs a week.
We'll complete 50 jobs a day.
Wow.
So
we're talking 10 times.
Yeah, it's a serious amount of volume. So if you don't have a platform that runs all of that for you, you need to have 30 people in the office to manage all of this stuff.
Yeah.
So
see, if you have the right if you have the right platform,
you have the right technology,
you can
it makes it
scale
easy.
your operation up without having the office staff to support it. Now, I've always wanted this ever since I started business. How much time we got?
1 minute.
1 minute. Ever since I started, I sought a good business platform, but the technology hadn't evolved yet. I had software guys coming in. They were talking about writing code, and they were going to make me this custom program. Was going to cost $150,000 to do it. And then all of a sudden, smartphones started coming out, and the technology that I was after became invented on the mainstream. So it's out there now, but you got to be very careful.
Even though this is costing you a lot more money, are you going to save on manpower because you're implementing this?
Oh, positively.
It should, yeah.
Positively. Yeah.
And then when we get back from the break, our last segment, we're going to do the business tip of the week for you guys. But I want to ask you another question about it, Ryan, regarding the fact that some of these systems actually help your employees sell the jobs as well. Compared to what Doug and I have, it's not quite the same.
Right.
But we'll be back in the business happy hour in just a minute, guys. We're going to take a quick break.
Hey, are you a plumber in Tampa Bay or know a plumber looking for a great career change? Plumbers is looking for several qualified service plumbers with top compensation packages between $75,000 and $100,000 per year, offering paid holidays, vacation pay, major medical, and unbeatable work environment. We are the highest rated company because of our plumbers, and we want you to join our team today. Call 813-PLUMBER. That's 813-PLUMBER. Remember, plumbing problems are no problem for Tampa Bay plumbers.
This is Frank Coto, president of Lincoln Lending Group and 813mortgage.com, your no junk fee mortgage lender. If you're a veteran and you're looking to purchase or refinance a home, please visit 813mortgage.com today and complete your fast, free 5-minute VA loan application. My team will approve you in less than 24 hours, and we will beat any written loan estimate from any other bank. Thank you to all of our customers who made us the #1 mortgage lender in Tampa over the last 19 years. Call 813mortgage today, and don't forget, you drop the E, we'll drop your fee.
Have all the rain and storms this year left your roof unprotected? Do you need an honest, reliable, and trustworthy roofing company? Call Suncoast Roofing Solutions today at 813-283-2544 for a free evaluation and no obligation estimate.
You'll appreciate their personalized solutions and no-pressure consultants. You can find Suncoast Roofing Solutions on the web at suncoastroofing.com, where honesty, integrity, and craftsmanship come first.
Hey, are you a plumber in Tampa Bay or know a plumber looking for a great career change? Tampa Bay Plumbers is looking for several qualified service plumbers with top compensation packages between $75,000 and $100,000 per year, offering paid holidays, vacation pay, major medical, and unbeatable work environment. We are the highest rated company because of our plumbers, and we want you to join our team today. Call 813-PLUMBER. That's 813-PLUMBER. Remember, plumbing problems are no problem for Tampa Bay Plumbers.
From the Florida Central Credit Union Home Loans Traffic Center.
Took care of an earlier accident that was westbound on the Selman at US 301. Still a little sluggish in this area. Westbound I-4 remains pretty slow from the Selman connector into 275. In Holiday, watch out for a crash southbound on US 19, a little bit south of Darlington Road at Lang Road. See traffic problems? Call the injury firm of Abrahamson and Utica Hillsborough traffic tip line at 866-545-9595.
This report is sponsored by Napa Auto Parts. This month at Napa Auto Parts stores, get a 5-quart jug of Mobil 1 full synthetic motor oil for $28.99. Quality parts, helpful people, that's Napa know-how. General states pricing. Sales price does not include applicable state and local taxes or recycling fees. Offer ends 5/31/19.
You're listening to the Business Happy Hour with Frank Coto, Ryan Pelky, and Doug Ford. Now, back to the show.
Hey, guys, welcome back to the Business Happy Hour. This is Frank Coto, owner of Lincoln Lending Group at 813 Mortgage. If you guys are looking for a mortgage, we don't charge you any fees. And feel free to mention the radio show. We're going to take special care of you guys. My partner's Doug Ford with Suncoast Roofing Solutions, 888-888-ROOF. They are your Tampa tile specialists, and they do other roofs as well. And then we've got Ryan Pelky, the owner of Tampa Bay Plumbers, 813 Plumber. That's all you need to know for all your plumbing needs, especially if you need 2 toilet seats and a toilet tank rebuilt. They'll come right over bright and early and take care of that for you.
Bright-eyed and bushy-tailed.
Yes. Gary sat on my seat in the back so many times I had to replace it. Gary, what happens if somebody wants to call in?
877-897-8255. That's 877-897-TALK.
So I just want to wrap up this operating software thing real quick.
Yeah. I want to.
As far as if you guys are any entrepreneurs that are out there that have a business that they're getting bogged down on their paperwork, I think that's kind of when you need to you need to hopefully identify this problem before it happens.
Is yours kind of a point of sale system in a way where
this is everything?
It's everything, right?
It's everything. I mean, the Service Titan is actually it's the premier. What we're going to anyway is the premier software for our industry. It has the CRM, everything from the CRM, so when the call comes in, the customer information will auto-populate on the screen. It'll show the account balances. It'll show their aging report if they're an accounts receivable customer. So if they're past due and we need to collect, we can hit them right then. Schedule the call, dispatch the call to the technician. The technician will get the call on his handset. The technician can change the status on the jobs from traveling to working to off-job complete. They can bill the customer. The invoices will get sent to the customer. The customer can click on them and pay them right there, right from their email. It's incredibly functional, and it goes right into QuickBooks. No double entry process. So I mean, it's a phenomenal tool. They are very expensive. So they're all business owners kind of have to weigh the cost of what they're currently doing, how they're currently operating. And I would say that once you get to the point where you need to start hiring more office staff because you're getting bogged down in your office, comes.
And my key to ask you the question before the break was about saving money, because I mean you're about to spend 3 times what you've ever spent before on this on a monthly basis.
Right.
But if you can, and I hate to say it, lay people off, but if you can get rid of some of your office staff or you can cut down on some of those expenses, then it's a net positive.
Yeah, I don't know that we're gonna be able to cut office staff. It'll be interesting to see, how that works out. But I think that what we will be able to do is hire more field personnel without hiring office staff.
Oh, there you go.
So,
okay.
So we'll be able to scale our.
So you can scale,
we'll be able to scale up
exactly
without adding that cost on the back end.
So, right. So we talked about in our pre-meeting, Doug and I were bringing up the thing, and I think we all have the same problem right now in business, and it's a great problem to have, but nonetheless it is a problem about making decisions for your company when you're blessed to have a lot of work, and you're at a crossroads, which I feel like both of us are, and
all three of us, is you can scale. Like you're taking a step here so that you can scale, and it's a costly step, but it should result in a net profit.
And a smooth operating.
And a smoother
operation.
Which honestly, smoother operations. Smoother, right.
I mean, I think I'd rather have a smooth business operation, and even if it was a break even on what I was spending, if I didn't get the additional revenue. I mean, I had a guy come in the other day whose hours were all messed up from this stupid platform that we just went over to.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, this is now a disgruntled employee because his paycheck was off.
It was a human error?
It was software error.
Software.
It was all software related. So those are the types of things that you can't have. I can't send a plumber out to a job that's not in a good spirit.
Right.
I'll have a flood in a house.
So let me ask you.
You can't do that.
Let me ask you this: as a business owner to business owner here, would you rather make, let's say, I don't know, $25,000-$30,000 or less a year personally, and have a smoother, more stress-free operation, or make the extra money and put up with the BS?
I'd rather have the smooth.
I'd rather have smoother.
Interesting answer.
I think in reality, what happens when you have a smoother operation like that is you end up making more money.
In the long run.
In the long run,
you will. I think that adage is true. You got to spend money to make money.
Mm-hmm.
And
I always tell people too, there's a lot of people out there that are in the construction industry, so they'll look for the cheapest way to do things. Say home remodeler, they'll find the cheapest plumber, the cheapest drywall guy, the cheapest everything. But what
my hand.
What they don't get is that they just spend a little bit of extra money to get the job done properly. They probably have less headaches at the end when the job is done because they're paying somebody to go back and fix all these
problems.
problems.
You'll probably pay less, and then the other thing, time is money.
Yep.
And you spend less time on it.
Yep.
So I asked that question
Same
around,
adage.
and I knew he was going to answer that way. Same with you, because these are experienced business people that we're in the room with here. That's an experienced answer. Somebody who just started their business and only a few years in is focused on the dollar. They're not focused on the time and how time is money and the quality of life and the quality of the customer service.
So many hours in a day.
I'm in this for the long haul. I mean, I say practice, but we don't need any more practice.
Right.
We do practice all these concepts and we talk about it, but at the end of the day, we've been doing this stuff for a long time. I've got a $100 million goal on my wall.
Ooh.
I mean, that's
what is that? $100 million gross revenue?
In gross revenue, that's my next milestone
Nice.
for my personal career that I've done under my license of work. That's the next.
Oh, is it going to be
threshold.
like a McDonald's? Whoa, music, whoa. Is it going to be like McDonald's where it's like over 1 billion served? Funny I say that, and I like what you're doing, but I met this realtor recently, and if you're listening, you know who you are. He advertised it. He goes, "We have over $1 billion. I've sold over $1 billion in homes." I'm like, I guess that's kind of cool.
Well, yeah. I guess if your average ticket is $500,000, what is that? How many is that? 2,000?
Yeah, that's a good point. And then you do the math. I mean, and then how many years? I mean, I guess if you've been in the business 20 years, you could do that. I've just never done the math. I thought that was kind of interesting to find out what I do. So we got the music on today, guys. The show is about over. We didn't do the business tip of the week.
We'll save it for next week.
We'll save it for next week. It'll be a good one, I promise, because I'm going to have 2 weeks to think about it here. But, hey, guys, do look up an article. Best public schools in Florida was just announced. Doug brought it up to us. Very interesting. Tampa Bay area has 7 of them. We'll be back to the Business Happy Hour next week, guys.
The proceeding was a paid program, paid for by Lincoln Lending S Corp. The opinions, viewpoints, and promises made during the preceding program are not those